The Brew House was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery. But the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewHouse.com. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Glad you're with us. I'm Bill Pucko and happen to be joined, it's an actual rare treat to be joined by Terry Francona, the manager of the Cleveland Indians.
I get that once in a while, yeah.
Once in a while, also known as Rob Cerone, the head coach of the state finalist Athena football Trojans this year. Tremendous season. Rob, thanks for joining us.
Hell yeah, it's great to be here.
Co-hosts Mike and Pat, good to see you guys. Explain the jersey quickly.
No,
show it off.
You don't have a game-worn Rory Fitzpatrick Sudbury Wolves jersey?
I do not.
Oh, well, I'll get you one. I can't really do that.
From the great collection.
Yeah, this is an
jerseys.
eBay found over 700 at home, so I think I'm going to start wearing one for every show until we're not going to make it. We're going to cancel before we get to the end, but I'll wear as many as we can.
700?
I think it's over 750 now.
Hey, Rex Ryan got fired. Rob, you're a coach in the profession. Reaction to Rex leaving the job?
It's hard, sometimes the players don't perform and the head coach at that level, he's ultimately going to pay the price. But, there were some things that happened Saturday that may have sealed his fate, during the Bills game and some decisions that were made.
You're a head coach. You look at these things differently. God, he's also been under constant attack for 3 weeks. Did he get a fair shake, do you think, in Buffalo?
I don't know if he did. I think he had the players, though. He's got the locker room. They played hard. They play for him. His players like him and they believe in him. But I don't always agree with the decisions he makes. He's a brass guy and he's out there and he owned it. So I don't know. I think that at that level, it's tough. You have to win. And 500 season, the expectations were higher than that. And it's just not going to get it done, unfortunately.
Guys, have at it.
Well, he came in as a defensive guy, and the defense failed him. That's the main thing. And this past year, they gave him what he wanted. Now, in fairness, a couple of draft picks didn't work out because of injury, but, also Lorenzo Alexander stepped up and played at Pro Bowl level, which helped to replace one of the rookies. Reggie Ragland would have been a really nice addition. It wasn't. Marcel Darius let him down, let the whole franchise, let the whole organization down by his ineptitude, by his suspension, by his lack of preparation, because he's a difference maker. But Rex's defense is why he got fired. 2 years and they got worse. And to Rob's point, it was really on display in that game against the Dolphins. I mean, you had 3 games this year where teams ran for over 200 yards a back. Jay Ajayi twice. And that's what ultimately led to it. Tyrod Taylor is what he is as a quarterback, but he should be in the playoffs with the season he had. Good enough. LaShawn McCoy, off the charts good. The offense scored enough points. They should be in the playoffs, and it was the defense that let him down, and that's why he got fired.
This is a terribly short-sighted move, and I'll tell you why. You have a defense full of Rex Ryan football players. As a matter of fact, you spent your first, 3 draft picks last year on Rex Ryan guys? You have a guy in Reggie Ragland who you haven't seen play a down in the NFL, a guy that Rob Ryan legitimately thought, and you heard him say it in training camp before he got hurt, had defensive rookie of the year potential. Now, I know that's blah, 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 but here's the other scary thing. 23 free agents the Bills are going to have to either re-sign or replace next season. Anthony Lynn's going to coach on Sunday here.
Yeah.
Okay? You think guys like Robert Woods, who's going to get paid by somebody and who's a really, really good receiver, especially when you have a weapon like LaShawn McCoy, a guy like Zach Brown, you think those guys are going to want to hang around a franchise that doesn't know who their coach is going to be, or it's Anthony Lynn, it's Frank Reich?
Can I say this? I don't care. Those are replaceable guys,
okay.
And I'm glad they have 23 free agents. And to your point, guess what? Shaq Lawson can play in the NFL, and he'll play for the new defensive coordinator. Marcel Darius, is he a Rex guy? Because like I said, he was terrible. Kyle Williams plays no matter who the coordinator is.
Kyle Williams is gone. He's a $1 million cap hit on a $7 million deal next year. He's gone, man.
It depends on who comes in as a coordinator. They would love to keep Kyle Williams back for another year. What I'm saying to you is Jerry Hughes became He started out house on fire, was terrible the rest of the year. I'm tired of hearing it's this guy or that guy. Get a coordinator in who you had your guys, and you were decimated by Jay Ajayi and Le'Veon Bell to over 600 yards in the 3 games.
We talked about this off mic a second ago where, Aaron Williams getting hurt, Bill's safety, kills this team. But beside that, okay, fine. All these people that wanted Rex gone, he's gone. Great. You know what we have to look forward to next year? Someone we've never heard of, or Anthony Lynn, who, by the way, before week 2, we had never heard of, coaching this team, and a bunch of guys who are looking to make NFL careers playing for him. It's the reset button again. It's another season of 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. So when the season is over next year and Rex is still not the coach, what do you do? How do you sell tickets again?
Do you really believe in a year it was going to be different? What was going to be different?
Well, the bottom line is this. You are able to attract a better coach if you give the guy you brought in 3 years to turn it around, not a year and 15 games. Who is going to want to come that is a legitimate coach to Buffalo?
Well, you thought...
Yeah, in your face! I said in your face!
That's a great point.
Yeah, but okay.
He said it's a great point, too.
Because here's what it is. Because everybody thinks, well, we got to know the guy. We got to have the guy. I made mention to you guys, when you look in the playoffs this year before we were on, John Harbaugh. You know what he was known as? Oh, yeah, his brother used to be the quarterback at, for the Colts. When he got hired as a special teams coach from the Eagles, went to the Ravens. The guy who he used to work for, Andy Reid, was a quarterbacks coach in Green Bay and got the job. Now, again, that doesn't mean those guys always work out. Mike Tomlin was a defensive backs coach, 1 year as a coordinator, boom, got the head coaching job.
I can name you 4 guys like that the Bills have hired over the last 15 years. Look, those guys that are eager and smart, a guy like Doug Marrone, right?
Okay.
No? No?
He's the head coach right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, well,
Get out of my face.
can't go through all the candidates. This is the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. We have one last week of games to pick next. The Press Box, brought to you in part by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 262-COMP, C-O-M-P, today. The Buffalo Bills quote of the week was brought to you by the Rochester Geico office. Give the Rochester Geico team a chance to see how much you could save on all your insurance needs. Call or stop by the office on West Henrietta Road, open Monday through Saturday. The Geico Rochester quote of the week.
He's right. The players let him down. Leger Douzable is one of the guys who actually played pretty well, I thought, in the last game. But the players like Rex. They like playing for him. He's a good guy. If you hang around him, everybody likes him. He didn't win, and a lot of it is on the players, but it's the coach who pays the price.
This portion of the Rochester Press Box brought to you by Connors and Ferris. So, Rob, we got games to pick. We got one last game to play. They're under an interim coach. There's all this stuff that's going to be going on all week. Will they be prepared to play a game as a 6-point favorite in New York?
I like the Bills. I think they're going to play for Rex. They like him. He's got the locker room. They're going to play hard. They're going to get after it. And, I like the Bills.
Even though he's not there?
Yep. I really do. I think so.
Well,
yeah, and I do think, I think Anthony Lynn is a liked guy, too. I think guys on off. It's going to be an odd game because it's going to be sort of a playoff drought game. It looks like it's going to be EJ against Fitz in that game. Won't that just be...
That's right.
They should flex this game to prime time, don't you think?
Well, no, this will be the game where they all go off, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're both going to throw for 3. You know that EJ will throw for 300 yards because Tyrod's last game as a Buffalo Bill, which that was, by the way.
Yeah.
He finally did it. EJ's going to go for 350 just to make it that much harder to go into this offseason for the Bills.
So I'll say the Bills, because the Jets are really bad also. I'll say the Bills will end up covering in the game.
Now, you pick the Bills every week.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bills again. 3 reasons. Stephon Gilmore, Robert Woods, Zach Brown. This is their last chance to go earn some money, and I think they know it. So everyone's got to play to get that contract next season. More guys need to play in Buffalo than in New York. Bills win straight up, and they're going to cover.
Now, I think the Jets have quit for the most of the second half of the season. Nevertheless, 6 points at home. I don't know. I don't see either team going break ass in this game. So I like the Jets with the 6 points. Pick us a second game, Rob.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with the Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's playing really well.
What's the
A lot of
matchup there?
confidence.
Oh, that's the big game.
It's a big
Sunday
game.
night
Yeah.
Detroit. Yeah.
For the
I like
division.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
You got a second game?
I'm going to be a homer and take the Eagles against
We
the
knew
Cowboys.
you'd do that.
But the only reason I'm doing is because I do think Dallas is going to. Their guys looked really good this past week. I think he gets them in and out of the game. It may be Mark Sanchez playing. Eagles are still playing like that team that knows they're not in it, and they'd like to end with a win. So that type of game, I'll take the Eagles.
I like Denver at home against Oakland. I think David Carr is the whole Oakland team.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
Denver, defending Super Bowl champions, finishing up at home. I'll take them.
I started taking the Browns. I'm ending taking the Browns. 7.5 against the Steelers. Steelers, I mean, they can't really move up, right? They got the division. They're good to go. Browns cover the 7.5 against Pittsburgh.
And he got a win with the Browns. Your
Wow.
team that you've picking all year
Outright.
last week.
So mad at myself. God, I hate him so much.
Here's a look at the standings for our NFL Picks contest, brought to you by Connors and Ferris. We enter the last week of the season with a little argument over who the winner is here. Said winner of the contest will have a donation made in his name to
Who's the
Hunter's
winner,
Hope. Jesus, looking pretty good to me. This week, Greg Connors is selecting for the Connors and Ferris team. We'd like to thank Greg and the entire organization for their support this season. This is the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion brought to you by Connors and Ferris. Like it or not, next. The Press Box Trivia Question, brought to you by Sleep City. Queen adjustable bed with memory foam mattress, now $977. Save over $500. Shop Rochester's only locally owned mattress store. No pressure, no hassle sales experience. Here's a look at the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Sleep City. Queen adjustable bed with memory foam mattress, now $977. You save over $500. Shop Rochester's only locally owned mattress store. No pressure, no hassle sales experience. See New York in a whole new way. Amtrak is offering a 15% discount for all travel inside New York State and to Montreal. Visit Amtrak.com for the See New York discount. Safe, comfortable, affordable, and easy. Amtrak. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back. This is the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. Like it or not, Rob, NFL teams resting players late in the season to protect them for the playoffs.
It's a
risk.
It's a grind, though. 16 weeks. I mean, we played 13 weeks this year for the first time, and it's a long season, and it's so physical, it's intense. So I can see that, getting to rejuvenate their legs and just getting some time to kick back. I know there are guys like Aaron Rodgers is one. He doesn't like to rest. He wants to play. He wants to get reps, and he wants to stay sharp. So it's a double-edged sword, but I can fully see where you don't want to get anybody hurt.
You come in
and
on the
it's
side of
16
resting them
weeks.
as opposed to
I
thinking
would.
it's going to hurt them in
I
inactivity.
would. Yep. I would come in on the side as resting.
It happens every year, and it's like it's so unscientific. We debate this every year.
Yeah, I think it's different also for the teams that have a bye. Like if you're New England and you have a bye, or Dallas and you have a bye because you're also going to be off the next week. I think they like to keep routines. I think what I would do is I think I would play players that are healthy and ready to go, maybe on a limited basis, get them out there, play a quarter, do whatever. Yes, you are running a risk of an injury, but it's not the same grind, and get them out. But any player that was marginal coming off an injury, then you sit those guys out. But honestly, I think in recent years, we've seen those teams that rest players, it's backfired them more. And New England never seems to do it. They play their guys. It burned them the one year when they lost a wide receiver late into the regular season, but most of the time they're pretty good.
Alrighty. Pat, like it or not, George Karl wrote a tell-all book on the NBA, on his NBA coaching career.
I mean, George Karl's career is coming to an end, so he can do whatever the heck he wants. But I think it's definitely a bad look, especially coming out publicly and writing that because Kenyon Martin and Carmelo Anthony don't have fathers, they didn't learn how to be real men. What are you, out of your mind? In the racial climate, not only in this country, but in the league that you are working in? What are you, crazy? I mean, I would love to see a statistic of the men that he has coached or coached against that were raised without biological fathers in their home, and then have to have that man stand in front of those men and explain what he meant by that comment. I mean, that one sticks out, but again, listen, you're not going on a limb criticizing Carmelo Anthony for being immature. Everybody knows that, right? It's like doing a tell-all book on it's going to rain eventually again. It was stupid, risky, and what's the upside of it?
Yeah. And I think a father would tell somebody, don't write a tell-all book.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's childish of him, and I think he comes across as an angry old man, and I'm pretty disappointed in him.
I get it since Ball 4 came out with Jim Bouton, players doing tell-all books. It seems like there's a code in there that coaches shouldn't be doing this.
No, definitely not. I agree with you, Pat. That's an unnecessary risk.
That's the first time that's ever been said on this show.
Well, you missed something else. You had an angry old man chastising an angry old man.
Well, we stick together.
This is the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion brought to you by our friends at Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. Our unfinished business is next. The Press Box Stat of the Week brought to you by Fiondoc and Fiondoc. Remember, if you've made the wrong choice, it's time to make the right choice. Fiondoc and Fiondoc, New York's DWI leader for over 35 years. Visit nydwi.com. Celebrate the holidays with delicious Dunkin' coffee. Stop by Dunkin' Donuts for 2 K-Cup boxes for $15.99 or 3 pounds of packaged coffee for just $19.99. America runs on Dunkin'. Welcome back. This is the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Unfinished Business, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Pat.
Here we go again. Right, E.J. Manuel's your starter for the Buffalo Bills this week, which means Tyrod Taylor most likely has played his last game in a Buffalo Bills uniform. So, let's spin the wheel. Huh? Is it going to be Tony Romo on a 2-year deal, even though he's going to get hurt 3 games in? Is it going to be maybe a trade for Brian Hoyer? Is it Cardale Jones, who they're just going to throw out there because they have nobody else? Here's what I don't understand about all of these Bills fans that called for Rex's head and Tyrod's head, because you got what you wanted. Doesn't make anything better. It makes nothing better. The team would have been better than they were this year, I firmly believe it, if you would have kept Rex in place and Tyrod in the same way. Pay Tyrod and look for somebody else. Now, there's nobody. The cupboard is empty, and we're starting all over again. I'm going to go renew my season tickets because that's what I do. I want to escape my family 8 Sundays a year and go drink a bunch of beers. But can you honestly say, after what happened this week, that the team is in a better position to succeed? And now that you realize they're not, what were you calling for all season in the first place, getting rid of Tyrod and Rex? It frustrates me. And I really hope the Bagulas didn't do what they did because they heard it coming from the outside in.
Can we say definitively that Tyrod's done?
No, we can't say that at all. I think this is more about the contract itself. There's the possibility. They don't want to be tied to that contract right now going into the offseason. That's why he's not going to play this week.
Rob, what do you got for us?
My unfinished business? I would say, you know what? The sting of the loss in the state finals has wore off a little bit, but what we did, what our team did for the town and the community was really something special. It was nice to see the community rally around the kids, and to have that season and to finish where we did. It was difficult, tough loss at the end, but when you take a step back and you look at what we accomplished, it was really remarkable. So
What was the
I was really
best
proud
part?
of them.
What's the part that'll really stick with
I'd
you?
say the best part for me was getting my father the opportunity to hand me the Section 5 trophy. That was
Legendary
something
Dick
that was,
Cerone.
for me, that was the best part.
All right, so we're going through another change again, and it's time to assign blame and all the things that go with it. And I'll say this about Rex Ryan. It was not all his fault. There are things that Rex did improperly. There are things that didn't work out for him. He's getting pushed out the door, as I said earlier, because of the defense. Do not pin everything on the head coach. There is blame to go around with this organization, and you could have made the call to clear everybody out. But as I told you a few weeks ago, that was not going to happen here. So now it is on Doug Whaley. You could argue it's been on him up to this point, but it is absolutely on him now. I do not believe he has picked a head coach during his time there. I think the coaching decisions have been made above his pay grade. Well, now I think it's Doug Whaley. At least is going to have the opportunity to do it, and then we'll find out. Again, an argument could have been made, clear everybody out. The Pagulas wanted to keep Whaley as the GM, so now it's on you, Doug. Let's see what you can do.
I think his worst mistake, Rex's, was the very first thing he did was letting Schwartz go as defensive coordinator. That you couldn't have swallowed your pride and kept the best part of the team intact.
Schwartz wasn't going to take that coordinator position. He thought he should have been the head coach. There was no way, he was staying for that job.
He was under contract.
Well, he was under contract. It probably wouldn't have been the best circumstances, but what he might have done was modify the way Rex wanted to run the defense a little bit if he wanted
Because
to.
that's what a head coach does, right?
You know what? He brought in his brother, and that was not one of his finer choices, too, I would say.
Unfinished Business brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Rob, thanks very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on the panel.
Thanks for having me.
Guys,
Appreciate it.
great as always. New uniform next week.
Yeah, I'll have a brand new sweater for you.
Excellent. We're looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week with the Rochester Press Box.